comic book fans, and welcome to another SuddenlyComics.com video. It is a Monday night, and I am here with everybody's favorite Canadian, Alan, and we are the price variants. And as usual, we are looking at I'm not going to say hottest sales because we've just done the show for Alan's channel.
Lukewarmish? Lukewarmish sales?
Unless you are investing in Bam Bam, it was the only comic that went up, the rest all came down. So here we are. It's the very sad sales at Heritage last week. Alan was pointing out there weren't any huge keys, and I think that's because if you've got a huge key now is not the time to sell it. Right. So
Yeah.
have you got anything to add to that, Alan?
No, I think that sums it up pretty well for now.
Right. Now we are starting up. This is interesting you put this on here, Alan.
Well, so a lot of the books that I put on the list were related to spec. So I was trying to find spec books, and this is a very big spec book right now.
Right. The reason why this is interesting that you put this on here, because on Monday I attended an auction, actually drove to it and attended it in person.
Okay.
And one of the big purchase I made was this. It was a silver.
Oh, no.
I've got it in a 3.5.
Okay.
Graded by CBCS, but there was a 5.0 CGC for sale at this auction, and I thought it was a decent price, and I bought it. So I bought this on Monday, and a 5.0, not a 6.0. So I'm aware of the price on this and the history behind the prices. So yeah.
Like this one though, okay, so there's a bunch of spec around this book right now.
Yeah.
So this is the first appearance of Shalla-Bal, who is the Silver Surfer's love interest.
And that's just, it doesn't say that in the blurb.
Yeah, but this is the origin of the Silver Surfer. She is going to be the Silver Surfer they use in the movie.
Now, what's interesting here, Alan, is this doesn't say anything about Shalla-Bal. The copy that I bought, which is a 5.0, says origin, first appearance of Shalla-Bal on it.
So this is probably an older label.
Yeah,
they probably updated it with that new information. But that's the reason why this is a major key for Silver Surfer. She's like a major character. I mean, she's kind of the motivation for the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is a pretty big important key. I actually, it's one of the best Silver Surfer covers too. It's a really cool cover.
Yeah, it is.
This is a book I actually want to upgrade because I have a 2.0 of it, and it's a faded 2.0.
Yeah. Well, I've got a 3.5 going.
I'll trade you. If it wasn't for the shipping, it would be so much easier.
Yeah, it's not bad looking 6.0 either.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
Right. So
and the artist is Kirby, right?
Fairly sure it is. No, John Buscema.
Oh, John Buscema. No Kirby?
No Kirby.
Like I feel
no, John Buscema cover, John Buscema and Joe Sinnott, Gene Colan, and Sid Shaw's art.
Oh wow, okay, John Buscema. For some reason I thought this was Kirby because of the Kirby crackle kind of thing in the background.
Yeah, well,
it has that kind of Kirby.
Maybe they've been copying him in the office.
I don't know. Okay, John Buscema. Okay, that's cool.
Right.
I also like this because it's one of the big premiere issues.
Oh, it's got you like this big premiere.
I love that.
Alan's very, very simple to understand. Put a big big premiere.
It must be great. It must be good.
Right. So 6.0 selling for $6.90. If it's done the same as the 5, it's down significantly from the COVID blip, but it's
I can tell you right now this is down. I know just based on how much I paid for my 2.0.
Yeah, so it's roughly the same as the 5.0. So it's
what was the peak? Like absolute
crazy. 1,900 nearly. So
So
it's
it's
down.
down a third.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow,
So
that's
this is the
crazy.
same as the five. It's exactly the same shape as the graph on the 5.0, but
And
and
no tick
can you
up on
see
this
how
one.
it's
This,
actually bounced up a bit in the last few sales?
yeah, well, it's about, it looks like it's kind of like doing a slow kind of decline down. Like that trend line is
Yeah,
a
but the last
downward
few
trend
sales
line.
are up, Alan. So if you look at this sells quite regularly. It's definitely
Hmm.
it's bottomed out here at 596
Okay.
in March, and it's now come up. It's come up to 690,
Wow.
and it is above its pre-COVID.
Okay, well, that's a good sign, at least that
Yeah,
it's above pre-COVID.
yeah.
So you just ignore the COVID bump and move on, basically. So that's not too bad. Actually,
No,
I
it's
think
so it's
that's a,
holding. It's on a it's definitely stabilized here. This is the 5.0,
okay.
which I look which is what I bought. It's done actually looks the same.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
it
it looks a
actually
little
up a bit more here.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the last 5.0 sold for 625, um, and bottomed out at 436.
Oh wow.
I paid 480 for mine in dollars.
Okay.
So, and I thought it was a good price. So, because I
That
think,
seems like a good price. I mean, I think I paid 400 for my copy and it was a 2.0. I bought it
yeah,
at the wrong time though. Totally I goofed. I
yours has
goofed.
got no color on it either, if I remember correct.
Yeah, it's very faded. It's very faded. So that's why it's a 2.0. It's because it's faded.
Yeah.
It's actually a solid copy, just
I actually think this
faded.
is a really good time to buy this. I think this is, this is not significantly different to where it was pre-COVID. We've got the movies coming up. First appearance of
Hmm.
Shalla-Bal. I think this has stopped going down. You can see on both the graphs the last few
It's
sales.
kind of got that. It's got that plummet, then kind of a little bit.
Yeah, and it's gradually pulling its way up. So I think the trend is your friend. And on this one, it's up on the 5.0, it's up on the 6.0. So we'll look at the 7. Are you going to play with this Go Collect, or what are you doing? There you go.
Yeah, yeah. There it goes. I mean, this book sells fairly often, so
Yeah, 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 yeah. So there's lots of them. 7,600.
yeah. Well, I mean, these big premiere issues generally were massively printed
Yeah.
and massively
There you
saved
go. The
because the
5.0, the 6.0, and the 7.0 all.
had that little bounce up.
Yeah.
Okay, but
The
still
last three or
good
four
buy.
months, this book has been on pulling back.
Okay, that's good sign. Okay, some positive news. That's
Yeah.
actually, but is that only because of the spec at this
Maybe,
point?
maybe,
Yeah,
but we're only
will
at the beginning of the spec, aren't we? We're not getting the movie
a
until.
trailer or something, yeah, that can really heat it up.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. The time you want to sell is when the trailer comes out.
Hmm.
If you're selling them, so I'm keeping my 3.5 until the trailer comes out, then I'll flog it.
Okay.
Right, that was a good one. Um, oh, there you go. This is a
Now
fairly
this
major
is
comic, Callan. This is Amazing Spider-Man 5.
yeah, this is an interesting one. So this is Doom spec. This is the first crossover with Doom, and he crosses over into Spider-Man. So early Spider-Man, early Doom. I think this may be the third appearance of Doom, something like that. What does it say?
Right, it says it's the first Doom appearance outside Fantastic Four.
Yeah, it's his first crossover. I knew that. But I think it's like early because you got he appears in FF5
Yeah,
and then FF6, is it? The one where he's like with
yeah,
the
and then he's
Submariner?
about 23, I think.
Yeah, so I think this is like the next appearance of
23.
Doom.
Yeah, yeah, very early Doom. Yeah, this should be going up.
Yeah.
780.
I mean everything Doom seems to be going crazy right now.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm even seeing modern. ish Doom going for similar prices. It's like crazy, overly priced
Well,
Doom
I'm not sure
books.
it's affected this yet because that still sounds a bit cheap, 780.
Yeah, 780. Yeah. I mean, this was an expensive book at one time.
It hasn't started coming up, still down.
It's still above its pre-COVID, I would
Oh yeah,
say,
it's
but
been above pre-COVID, yeah. Only just. I
okay.
mean,
And
December 2020 is pre-COVID, and that was 838. So it's about
this is a book I actually want for my collection, believe it or not. So
well, I think now's the time to get it, Alan. I don't think that's coming down much further.
yeah. So what was the peak?
2339.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's
So
down. It's
again,
down. I lost two-thirds of its value. Yeah,
yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
I think if you want this, Alan, now's the time to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a book. I like these early ISMs. I'd love to have like 1 through 10 of Spider-Man. I think this is the only one I'm missing actually. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, if I was you, I'd be scouring Heritage for a copy to pick up at around 750.
Hmm. So yeah. So and what's the census? It's reasonably low census, right? Like 2000 or so.
3,400.
Okay. I mean that's for Marvel's,
Yeah,
it's not bad. And it's one of those ones if you have it, you'd probably get it graded. So
yeah,
that's a
really would.
it's
Yeah,
gonna be a higher census. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so I mean a cool book. I think, anything Doom is gonna be kind of hot right now, just with all the talk of Doom.
Well, it
I'm
hasn't.
surprised that this one hasn't reflected that
No,
interest.
hasn't
So yeah.
started on this one yet. Right. Um, right. I've never seen this before.
I've never seen this one before, but
It's
I
in
was
second
surprised by the
place, Alan.
number.
Undersea Agent, number one.
Yeah, yeah. I thought, wow, that's crazy. For like, to me, this is like a book that I would have expected to be sort of that dollar bin kind of book. Usually you see these kind of like not so famous titles in the dollar bins, but this is a high grade copy of it.
So this is well, the reason why this is expensive, Alan, is because it's the first appearance of Scooby Doo Little.
Who's Scooby Doo Little?
Idea. It's just a great name, though, isn't it? Scooby Doo Little. First appearance of Undersea Agent Davy Jones, or Davy Jones's lot.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Scooby Doo Little, Professor Weston, and Doctor Fang.
Okay, so this is an interesting one actually. This is a Tower Comics.
Oh, well, they
Tower Comics was
copied
sort
what
of a
other people did.
failed. Yeah, I forgot who the creator was. It was one of the. He was a fairly major.
DJ Arneson.
No, it was somebody else that was like it was. He was like big at DC or Marvel, and then he went off to create his own comic publishing house, Tower
Okay, well, it's
Comics,
not on this one.
and it was a short-lived thing. I mean, it was I think like a few years, and it kind of died. Um,
And then the racially
but
unacceptable stereotype.
yeah, that's what all Asians look like. What are you talking about? Um, they always have that Fu Manchu kind of mustache.
I've actually never met anybody with a moustache,
With that, no, I've never met anyone with that either.
and I've been to Asia quite a lot of times. Right.
Me too. Me too.
So this sold for 1,000. I mean, it is a 9.6, Alan. A 1,440.
I think it's the highest graded copy too.
Oh, look at this. We got a record.
Wow, big
What we
record.
really need now is Undersea Agent with Bam Bam.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's a force to be reckoned with.
It's a,
Um.
it's a huge record. The last one of these sold for $300.
Wow. I mean, that's what I was saying. I felt like this was kind of like a dollar bin kind of book. You know what I mean? Like not something people would go out and find. But I mean, Tower Comics is kind of a cool, obscure little title.
It,
I like a publishing house.
it's not even the highest graded copy, Alan.
Oh,
There's a
really?
there's a 9.8 somewhere.
I mean, look at the census though. It's a really small census.
39.
39
Yeah, but
copies.
just
That's
nobody's going to get their copy of Undersea Agent.
well, as I was saying, I think this is sort of like one of those books that you'd find in like the back issue bins, like where it's like $1 or something like that.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
won't be
usually
in the
beat
night.
at
It
that
won't.
point.
Yeah, but if you
Yeah,
find
it
it in the
wouldn't be
back
a high
issue bin,
grade, but
it's probably been in the back issue bin for 50 years. It's not going to be in a 9.6.
yeah, yeah. Go Collect does not want to work with you
No,
today.
it just tends to have a slow down on a Saturday. I don't know whether they do their maintenance or what. There's some cool covers on this Undersea Agent, Alan.
Yeah, I mean, actually, even the ones that were there, I just thought this, if I'm gonna show Undersea Agent, might as well show the key, the biggest key.
Yeah. Well, Go Collect's not playing with us, so we'll move on to the next comic, which is Captain America number 117. I believe this is the first appearance of the Falcon. Is that right?
Yes, that is right. And there is a trailer for the Falcon, at least.
Oh, is there? I
There
haven't seen
is
that.
what?
I haven't seen it.
Well, the new Captain America movie.
Yeah,
It's
no, but
Falcon.
the
That's
trailer out, is there?
yeah, the trailer is out. Actually, the second trailer is out where they
Okay.
actually show the Red Hulk and everything.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, so Captain America 117, first appearance of the Falcon. And he actually has the Falcon. You know? It later becomes like an electronical bird.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Right. So, Alan, this cover is by three people. I mean, I struggle to understand how two people do a cover. How do three people do a cover?
well, you get pens, ink, and colorist. Do you
Hmm.
know what I mean? That's one way.
Yeah.
Usually somebody does the layouts, somebody does the inking, and then somebody does the coloring. See? Easy to get three people.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
But this is a 9.4. This is a pretty
Yeah.
high grade.
Very
I
high
mean,
grade. Yeah. For 2160. Hmm.
yeah. This book had been plummeting for a while. I was curious if it would
This
go
is a
up
little
because of the
bounce
movie.
back, Alan. This is a little bounce back.
Little bounce back.
So the last one sold for 2,000. So it's up 160 on the last one.
Yeah, so up 10%.
This
That's not bad.
had fallen off a knife edge, had fallen off the slope.
What
Uh,
was the peak price? Like
so
4,000
in
or something?
August 2023, which is not COVID, this sold for 3,933.
Wow. So there was a lot of spec around the Falcon because he's the one that's taking over the mantle of being Captain America, right?
Yeah.
But the TV series was pretty bad. And a lot of people who watched, like they had like, like they always have before the movie even comes out, they always have these test audience kind of screenings.
Yeah.
And the test audience screening of the new uh like I forgot what it's called, Captain America, whatever, Savior of the World or whatever it's called, um, were really bad. Like they they thought it was terrible. Now, whether or not they fixed it is a question like that needs to be asked. But there is Harrison Ford in it. Not that he makes a movie always great because he's been in a lot of
Well,
bad
the
movies
last
actually.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, it was appalling.
Yeah, that and the Star Wars movies. There's a lot of times where he's in a lot of turds. So yeah. But this one, could be in the same vein as that. Where is it going to be a good movie?
Yeah.
Hard to
I mean,
say.
I've got a
Hard
feeling
to say.
Harrison Ford will not be putting on a red costume and doing the Red Hulk. So, um,
Yeah, I think he'll be CGI'd
yes.
unless he really worked out and spray painted himself red. I don't think.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Right. So, oh dear, not great, is it?
No.
Well, here we go. Biggie of the week. Fantastic for number 48.
And this
Uh,
kind of goes along with the Silver Surfer one
it
spec.
does go along with the Silver Surfer number one. Of
So
course,
this was a big book. I mean, this was a
this
pretty
is the
major.
first appearance of the Silver Surfer and Galactus. Major key, great cover, very nice. Right, so 8 for 8-4. I think I'm going to speculate that this is doing roughly what Silver Surfer did, which is it plummeted down after COVID, hit
Yeah,
a floor, and I think this is might bounce back a bit.
I think this bounced back a bit too. Yeah, I think you're probably right in that assumption.
Let's have a look.
I bet this was, I think this was probably like a $20,000 to $30,000 book though at one
Oh,
point.
probably. Oh, it hasn't bounced back a bit. It's still on down.
Okay, what was the peak price? I'm curious if I was right on that.
26.
Yeah, see, I was at least right on that one thing.
Yeah. I'm surprised
Um,
it's still coming down, Alan.
yeah, it's very odd, but still, even though it's come down, it looks like it's still above the pre-COVID pricing.
It depends when's pre-COVID.
2019. Let's take 2019.
In that case, yes, it is still above it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is this is one of those books that even without spec, people are going to want to have. Silver Surfer is a
Oh
cool
yeah,
character.
yeah. I mean, there was no
Yeah.
spec on this for ages. I mean, we haven't had any Fantastic Four stuff for 10
But
years.
you look at that line. I mean, it's really hard once you get these really crazy spikes, like the COVID spike, it really messes up. Like you'd almost have to zoom in on the pre-COVID sales because it looks like a flat line. It looks like this book had no particular growth, but it's
Well,
being like
no,
it's
I
being
mean, if you go back to from here, which is 2017,
well, that's what I'm
3000 to
saying.
here,
It's being
no,
obscured. It's being obscured by that massive
yeah,
bump from
exactly.
COVID.
If that hadn't been there, this would look like a nice little gentle
Yeah,
run.
trend line. Yeah. So that's my point. Like somebody commented that. I just wanted to explain that if you look at that line, it looks really, really flat, and then it's like, you know, um, but that's not really the case. It's actually like a slow trend line up. But it's
Yeah,
just
I mean,
getting
it's the way
obscured by that
graphs work.
massive
In
peak.
order to do the scaling, you've got to get that point in. If you took out all those points there, this scale would
Then
be
it
at
would
a
get
different
kind of,
level, and then you'd see that
yeah,
this was in fact rising.
yeah. That was the point that I was trying to get.
Yeah. So not bad, not bad. I'd like to
Still
see,
looks like it's
like to see it
correcting a
bounce
bit
back a
more.
bit. Um,
What was the previous sale to this one?
10.5.
Oh, it is still correcting. Okay.
Yeah, well, 9 days beforehand.
Wow. That sucks. If you just wait a
I'll
week,
tell you,
you
you
get,
need to buy on eBay. Don't you need to buy at Heritage? Don't buy on eBay. Somebody paid 10.5 on eBay on the 11th of August,
was
and
it
on
a
the
buy it
20th
now?
of August, you could have bought it for 8.4 on Heritage.
Was it a buy it now on eBay?
Fixed price, yeah.
Yeah. I find that, with eBay, you can get still really good deals on eBay if you avoid the buy it nows. The buy it nows, that's
Alan,
usually
Alan, Alan, please don't say this because I put all my comics up on Buy It Now. They're extremely good bargains, Buy It Nows. Make an
Well, they
offer
can
for buy.
be. They can be. I have to, I actually did one list where the buy it nows did better than the auctions, which is really weird. I was like, there was buy it nows cheaper than the auctions. So it can be the other way where you get people that get excited and they overbid on an auction. But for the most part, it's the other way around.
Right. Okay.
Or
Uh,
what's the census on it? Just quickly, like
census is huge. There are nearly 10,000. This is the one where there was a warehouse find. There's nearly
this is the warehouse
10,000 of
sign.
these.
Yeah, yeah. It's oh well, still a cool book.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a great cover, but it's only in the following issue we get an even better cover.
Yeah.
About a heart. There's only about 6,000 of number 49.
Hmm. But still, I mean, if of the two books, I actually prefer this one
I
because it
prefer,
is the first appearance in
yeah, I
like the true
prefer the
first
cover
appearance.
on 49.
Oh, me too. But I'm just saying,
Yeah,
I like to have that true first appearance.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that's it's been an interesting week.
Yeah. So our tips, our speculation tips, or our investing tips are anything with undersea agent and Bam Bam. Ignore arachnids, ignore Silver Surfers, ignore Thor, ignore Hulk. It's undersea agent and Bam Bam.
I don't know if that's a good investment advice, but I wouldn't say so. But yeah, um, definitely an interesting list. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Alan. We'll be back next week to have another look at the Silver Age market. Until then, that is your lot.